Hi, I'm Mona Fatini Izzati binti Wan Fauzi, matrix number 8208272. I'm from L3 and I will present about the Tealive company. So, for the first slide is about the management. So, what is the management? Actually, management is very important when we are running our business. Management is a process to achieve and accomplish our organization goals and objective. The goal is what we want to achieve, while objective is more specific, measurable, and actions to achieve the goal. Management must be implemented systematic, effectively, and efficiently. And management also involves people, which is manager. So manager will allocate the resources for human, financial, physical, and information. So there are four functions of management, which is planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. So for the first function is planning. Planning involves deciding beforehand. It is include what is to be done, when is it to be done, how it is to be done, and who is going to do it. Actually, planning is intellectual process which is lay down an organization's objective and develops various of courses of action by which the organizations can achieve those objectives. Planning is important in an organization because of it can improve our future performance, minimize risk, and certainly facilitates the coordinator of activities. So Brian Lu can plan about the vision, objective for Tealive company. So as we know, Tealive company mission is to always bring joyful experiences through tea, serving a variety of beverages from signature pearl milk tea to coffee and smoothies. The second is organizing. So Brian Lu can developing an organizational structure and allocating human resources to ensure the accomplishment of objectives. And yeah, the structure is usually represented by an organization chart, which provides a graphic representation of the chain of command within an organization. And of course, Mr. Brian Lu need to make a decision about the duties and responsibilities of individual jobs, as well as the manner in which the duties should be carried out. So for the next slide is about the organizational structure for Brian Loop's Holdings. So this slide show about the organizational structure for Loop Holdings company. So it starts with Brian Lu as a CEO and the others is under Brian Lu. So the next function is leading. Leading is involve the social and informal sources. So if Brian Lu as a manager are effective leaders, of course his employees will work well to achieve and to attain organizational objective. Actually, Brian Lu need to understand about the personalities, values, attitudes, and emotions of his employees. Brian Lu is also need to give a motivation to the employees to make sure they will able to work in company. And Brian Lu must have the communication skills for make sure he can effectively communicate with their employees. The last one is controlling. Controlling involves ensuring the performance does not stem from the standard. So Brian Lu can make sure the measurement of performance can be done in several ways depending on the performance standards, including financial statements, sales reports, production result, customer satisfaction, and formal performance. Brian Lu also need to control the production and operations of processes, procedure for delivery of services, compliance with company policies, and many other activities within their organization. So, of course, it can make sure the business will run smoothly. So the next slide is about the top manager at Loop Holdings, and it is Brian Lu. Brian Lu is a Malaysian entrepreneur, and he was born in Perlis, Malaysia. He earned a degree in biotech of from Monash University in Melbourne, Australia. After his graduation, he returned to Malaysia and worked for a biotech company for 2 years, and he decided to start his own business and look into the possibility of selling bubble tea. And Brian Lu leads the fastest growing chain franchise in the Asian region, opening 100 outlets in 3 years. The next slide is about the role of manager, and the role of manager is divided by three, which is the first one is interpersonal role, the second one is informational role, and the last one is decisional roles. So for the interpersonal roles. The first one is figurehead, which is the manager need to have social, criminal, and legal responsibility. For example, Brian Lu can attending employees' wedding or taking an important customer to lunch. Next is leader. Brian Lu is responsibility for the work of subordinates, motivating and encouraging employees, exercising their formal authority. For example, Brian Lu can develop team strengths and improve weakness, resolve any conflict or problem, and coach team members. It will make sure that the employees will work well. So the last one is liaison, which is Brian Lu must communicate with internal and external contacts. For example, Brian Lu need to negotiating with others, developing and fostering relationships, getting people to understand others' points of view and understand their parent business and how it impacts its stakeholders. For informational roles, the first one is spokesperson, which is Brian Lu need to getting information about the organization out to the public and controlling the flow of that information. For example, he can minimize negative publicity, travel to industry events, and represent the organization's message. The second is disseminator, which is Brian Lu can communicate portionally useful information to his colleagues and his team. So, for example, he can pass the information to others through the email, phone, memos, and others. And of course, he also can use online platform which such as Instagram, WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, and others. So the third one is monitor. Monitor is manager or Brian Lu need to seeking information from any resources and identify potential opportunities for improvement his business. So for example, a Tealive company can use feedback from customer to determine how company can improve the existing product. So for the decision roles, the first one is a negotiator, which is it is important to the team, department, and organization. Brian Lu need to negotiate with customers, suppliers, and others. And actually, negotiation skills are preparation and planning skills, knowledge of the subject matter being negotiated. So number two is resource allocator, which is Brian Lu should be able to allocate people, budget, time, and Brian Lu deciding which programs to provide resources. For example, Tealive company had collaborate with TV3. Number three is the disturbance handle, which is Brian Lu initiate actions of his own, but he must also respond to problems or disturbances. In this role, the Brian Lu often acts as a judge, problem solver, or conflict manager, and he has to respond to pressures over which the department has no control. And the last one is entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, Brian Lu can solving problems, generating new ideas, and implementing the employees. So he should get ready, taking the risk of developing new products or services. Second, successfully bringing new products and services into the marketplace. In business, innovation is more important because uh, we can exploring the new markets, and with the new products or services, Brian Lu have the advantage of exploring unexplored markets. For example, when Tealive was introduced in 2017, it made many customers fall in love with the variety of each type of tea. And the second, innovation can ensure the organizational survival, which is creativity and innovation are to make sure an organization's long-term survival. The future of a business depends on the ability of the organization to create new product or services. For example, a tea life company had released mie goreng boba, boba ice cream, as a new product, so it will attract more customer to their company. So for the next slide is about how technology changes the manager work. So the first point is it will changing the way business communicates, which is the way the manager Brian Lu and his employees used to communicate in the modern workplace, and also they can use any online platforms in smartphones such as Instagram, WhatsApp, email, phone call, messaging, and others. And with the help of technology, Brian no longer need to be present at his workplace every time. So Brian Lu can engage in other important works outside the office and keep in touch even face to face with his colleagues at the office through video chats and conference. So the second point is increasing collaboration, and actually technology has helped Brian Lu connect with people anywhere and at any time. So this increased collaboration has brought a high level of flexibility in communication that allows employees, co-workers, and managers to connect with each other easily. And employees in T-Life company can now connect and communicate no matter what and no matter where they are. This has helped in encouraging teamwork, mutual understanding, and bonding between the employees. So the more collaboration, business performance has been improved. So that's all from me. Thank you.